Hank Cisco Show. Ladies and gentlemen, don't touch that dial. We have a show here going to kind of make you happy, make you feel good, you know, and that's what it's all about. There's no use walking around depressed. Be happy. What they say, be happy, go lucky, right? So, our guest today is a stand-up comedian, but, you know, little words of wisdom, okay? Lawrence Welks, he always ends his show with, keep a song in your heart, and he sings a little song, beautiful, okay? Our guest today, she says, keep a smile on your face, you know, because she's telling different stories, make you feel good, be happy. You know, smiling and being happy, you don't have arthritis. It's good for arthritis. It's good for toothaches. It's good for everything. Good smile, good laughter, okay? Now, and also there's another song that's keep the home fires burning. You know, keep that home fire burning. That's the inside. But my words of wisdom would be keep bobbing and weaving, slip and slide, run and hide, and fake it until you make it. Okay, then another one is if you want to walk on water, you got to know where the rocks are. That's the main thing. Know where the rocks are when you, all right? And also, all sunshine makes deserts, okay? You can't have sunshine every day because if you do, you know, you have sun out in the desert, what happens? You got nothing but sand, nothing grows there. So if you want a beautiful garden, you have to have rain, the snow, the hail, and everything. You have a beautiful garden. So when the day looks like, it's a bad day, this is good, and, you know, don't worry about it. Don't worry about the mule going blind, get in the wagon, hold the line. So, ladies and gentlemen, my guest today is from NAR Town, Pennsylvania. I'm going to introduce her. They do in Madison Square Garden in the heavyweight division, weighing 100 and her name is
Katie Kohler.
All right, now you're here, right in Madison Square Garden.
That's
right.
NAR
Town High School
and it
studio.
Is the heavyweight division.
You're in the heavyweight division. How many fights did you win?
And
you undefeated?
100 pounds was a long time ago, Hank.
Oh,
to
yeah?
tell you that. I have passed that exit a long time ago.
All right, now, well, tell me something about yourself now. You're homegrown?
I was born and raised in NAR Town. I went to Holy Savior School, now defunct, or as I like to call it in my act, Our Lady of Perpetual Parmigiana.
Right. Papa John. Oh, yeah, that's Papa John, yeah? And pepperoni on the side and gabagool on the other side.
We would trade pepper shooters and olives for lunch all the time.
Right.
And it plays a prominent part in my act.
All right, how about Norristown? Norristown High School, you're a graduate here?
Norristown High, class of 99.
Right.
And I really got, I guess, my writing roots started here.
What do you mean by your writing?
Well, for stand-up comedians, writing is the most important thing. You have to write your material. It has to be fresh and new all the time.
Right.
And I really found out that I wanted to do something along the lines of writing in some kind of creative capacity here. I started writing for the Wingspan, the local newspaper, right here in Norristown High.
Oh, yeah?
And I did it 3 years in high school, and I absolutely loved it. I really found my niche there, and Mr. John Doyle really helped nurture that.
Oh, yeah?
And
You remember John Doyle?
I surely do. He was a big influence on me here.
No kidding.
And I went to LaSalle University as a communications major.
What about the theater here in Norristown? You don't do any acting like that?
No, I don't do any acting like that.
Maybe you ought to get a show, a little comedy, and a couple singers I got. You know, like a guy that imitates Elvis Presley, another guy.
I do, and a kick line, maybe.
Do that there. Okay, well, we'll do some. We'll maybe work on some. We're going to bring theater in Norristown. We want happy Norristown. Okay, now, tell me something about I know some people that you're related to.
Oh, you do?
All right, tell me who.
I have Billy Bambi. He was the former chief of police.
Right. He used to be one of my patrolmen. He was
really?
When I had a juvenile division, I had four officers, him, Pennington, and Prince of Valley, and a couple other guys, you know, and so it was really good. We had some good times, and then he became chief of police. I left, and I became a county detective in the district attorney's office, you know. And so now tell me some of the places where you put your show on.
I'll go back to the Bambi part. A lot of people, my Italian heritage plays a big part.
Are you Italian?
I am Italian.
No kidding.
But you would have noticed that
I didn't know
last
that.
name like Kohler.
Oh.
You know, like I say I'm Italian, people are like, but your last name's Kohler, like the toilet.
Yeah,
but my maiden name is actually Bambi, and I always say I couldn't wait to lose that name when I got married, Bambi. Because I was tired of all the questions, where's Thumper?
Yeah.
Did you ever find that guy that shot your mom?
Yeah.
So.
And, well, okay, now, you're going to perform at a show down here. Here, you want to tell us something about this? It's a comedy show. Let me hold it up here so I can see it. And tell me something about this.
great. It's at Francesca's Main Street Pub in Norristown. It used to be Falcone's.
Oh, yeah, it's right across from, it used to be the bus station.
Yes.
Now, across the street, like from Cataluna Macaroni, the big building.
Yes.
Well, I'm naming places that moved out. But now it's just a roofing company.
It is. And
But if you go down Main Street, it's the last building on the left-hand side before you go into Plymouth.
yes.
On the left-hand
It's
side.
after the Dunkin'
Okay.
Donuts.
And the show's going to be September the 25th, 8:30 p.m.
Yep.
Free admission, and you're going to be telling jokes and stories with the crowd, right?
Yes, I am. What happened was I started doing comedy about a year ago. I took a class at Mainline Night School. Now, you know how you get those brochures in the mail that are for adult enrichment classes, like cooking, knitting, tax evasion. I decided, you know, I'm going to take one of these classes sometime. But to be honest with you, Hank, I'm really lazy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'd much rather stay home and nap or play PlayStation than actually take a class to make my life better. Because, you know, I tried for 16 years to get out of school, and now it's like, why am I going to go back and take a night class?
Well, would you ever take up for boxing? I mean, I'm a fight manager and trainer. You want to go into the ring? Got the
No,
women boxers?
no,
You wanna do that?
no.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
do enough bobbing and weaving.
You're going to bob and weave a little bit.
Well, what happened was my husband worked late. So I'm like, I really need to do something or I'm going to end up having an affair. So I decided I'm going to take this class to, you know, occupy my time.
right.
And it was one night a week on Tuesday. It was taught by Paul Solari, who was a comedy veteran of 20 plus years. And I went to the class, and after that first week, I could not wait till the next Tuesday to go back. Because I had a lot of comedy inside of me, a lot of jokes to
Yeah,
tell.
yeah.
And Paul was just great. It's like when that one person believes in you, it takes you.
Yeah, right.
And after that, I started hitting the open mic scene. And open mic is like comedy boot camp. It's like where you go to train.
Well, you go into a restaurant and they just tell jokes as people just join in with the
You
with
go
the act.
to a bar or a comedy club, and there is no audience there. It's other comedians that have all heard your act and aren't going to laugh at you. But it's about getting on stage, or for you, punching that punching bag.
They
You
like
gotta
you or
keep
don't
doing
like
it.
you. You don't like
Yeah.
it, you don't care, right?
And it's great practice to go to these open mics. And what happened was I kept going, and I started getting booked for weekend gigs.
Yeah.
And that's really what you want to be doing, is working on the weekend.
Oh.
And I have performed everywhere from a hole-in-the-wall bar to the DuPont Theater in
Yeah,
Wilmington.
I know you have a terrific resume here of all the different places. Oh, my God, all over.
Yeah, I performed
King
at
of
Helium
Prussia,
Comedy Club.
Philadelphia,
Yep.
Royersford, you know, which is good. And I'm glad that you're right here in Norristown, because we're working on trying to get a theater. We have a theater now. We have the, you know, the Cultural Center that's only holds 65 people. We're going to get something. We're working on it. We're getting garages being built. We're getting movie studios coming in town, everything. So that's the next move.
Well,
okay?
I'm really glad you brought that up, Hank, because the reason I'm doing this show, Thursday, September 25th, for free,
It's free.
it is a free show.
Free.
It is a free show. That means you don't have to pay to get in. And most comedy places, when you go, it's $15
Yeah.
and
yeah.
$20. This is a
Right.
free show, and I'm bringing other comedians along with me.
Oh, in other words,
Oh, yeah, it's a show.
it'll
It's
be
going
more
to
than
be
one show.
a solid
Just like-
hour and a half with a couple acts. The reason I want to do this is because I started a year ago, and I went to my local bar in King of Prussia that I frequent, and I asked if I could put on a comedy show. And they said, absolutely. It said Screwballs in King of Prussia. Used to be Fiddler's Green, and they're like Tuesday nights open. I've been doing it a year, and that has caught on, and it's packed now. And I'm so grateful for that. People come out, there's a lot of new faces,
Yeah.
and a lot of old faces that
Yeah.
I see. I'm like, and I appreciate the loyalty
You know,
so much.
You say that John Doyle is an influence on you, help you with your gun. He's great theater. Great, you know, we're very happy to have him in Norristown. But, you know, when you say that you write your own material, it reminds me of a guy that owns a restaurant. If the guy that owns a restaurant don't know how to cook, he's not going to be very successful, because one cook's going to cook this way, going to cook the other way. This way, you write your material, you hit it. If it's good, people like it, you know. Like I always tell a story when up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is one of the biggest union towns, you know. One night I went bowling there, and I got the ball, I threw it down the alley, I knocked all the pins down, I hollered, strike! Everybody walked out. I mean, it's a big union town, you know. But little things like that make people happy, and that's what it's all about. Now,
So the thing
tell
with-
me what else you
the
got
thing
about
with, The thing with
Norristown.
Norristown was seeing how successful it was in King of Prussia and building it up. I've done about 10 shows. We're going to make it a quarterly thing, like 4 times a year.
Right.
You always want to come home to the place. Like, there's so many people and events and places that shaped who I am.
Yeah.
And I love Norristown.
Right.
I mean, when I moved out,
Glad to hear that.
I do.
And
I
we're going
love
to change the
Norristown.
name of the zoo from Elmwood Park to Norristown Zoo.
I mean,
what else?
The only
Get that in
reason
there.
I left Norristown was to live in King of Prussia with my husband.
Okay.
And
Well, we'll allow it. So you come back.
And I still work in Norristown. My day job, this isn't my day job, because I'm sure some people are like, I hope this girl didn't quit her day job.
Right.
Like, some people are probably looking at me now, since the camera does add 10 pounds,
Right.
Hank. They probably think this is like Animal Planet. They're like, Hank's interviewing a joke-telling whale. I hope he's trained for that. It's not going to be a Steve Irwin incident. Anyway,
Go ahead.
I get on my little tangent. What happened was, I love Norristown, and the thing is, I've been hearing about the revitalization of Norristown
Right. Great. Coming on, too,
since
man.
I was in grade school. Now, I don't know anything about politics or infrastructure,
Right.
but what I do know is people want to go out on Friday and Saturday night
Right.
and have a bite to eat, a
Right.
couple drinks, and a good time.
Right.
And there's nowhere to do that in Norristown, really.
Right.
So I wanted to put something in Norristown that there is something to
people
do.
will come
And
here.
it is good that people will come. And I'm
got
going to tell you about these people at Francesca's. The owner is Mike Angro, and
Angro. I know him, don't I?
Yep.
Sure.
and
I know
his
the Angro.
manager, Stephanie. They want to
Stephanie
make
who?
this Silvo.
Salvo.
Yep.
Yeah.
They want to make this a regular
I know
thing.
the Salvos are great cooks. And,
Yeah. They
great.
want to do this a couple times a year.
Right.
They were like, we
Well,
want
as
to
the
put
ambassador,
this.
I will make an official visit down there.
They
I'll make a
want this-
babalucci and bacalata and little scrambled eggs on top.
They
whatever.
want this to be a regular thing. They're like, we want to do something
Right.
where people come out and it's an event and a good, fun thing to do in Norristown. They're all about making this a regular thing. And all we need is the support.
You know, a lot of people moved out of town, but there's a lot of people that still have their heart in Norristown. You know, they talk when they see me, hey, you know, Hank, remember you were a policeman in Norristown. You know, bring all these memories, you know. And I just hope that, yesterday I went down to Philadelphia to get a cheesesteak. I was going to go to Pat's or Gino's. Now, you know, Gino's the one that you don't speak English or else you don't get a sandwich, something like that. Well, I was there, and there was a whole big line of people there, and the guys made me a cheesesteak, you know. And I noticed on his arm he had a tattoo, Norristown, Pennsylvania. I say, hey, where you from? He says, I was born in Norristown. It's, I went to Holy Savior's school. I says, no kidding. I says, I'm the ambassador, you know. So he'd give me a whole pen and give me some posters and all, you know. And people come around thought I was a celebrity or something because the guy with Pat's, you know, Gino's reaching out, shaking hands with him, and they figured this guy must be something, you know. But the point is the guy had tattooed on his arm, Norristown, Pennsylvania. So proud, you know. And that's what I'm doing. I'll keep push it. You know, if you don't live in Norristown, you know, what do they say? If you're not going to help us, don't hurt us. All right? Now, tell us what else you're going to do now.
What else am I going to do?
Now-
Let's see. The show, I personally am inviting you, Hank, and all of Norristown and whoever else see this and wants to come out. I am going to tell you, Hank, it isn't a bar. So we're not for the sippy cup crowd. We're for
Right.
the six-pack crowd.
Right.
And it is adult humor. It is for 21
Yeah,
and up. But
21
I'm going to
and up.
tell you something.
I'll tell the clean jokes, let you tell it.
I'm going to tell you, if you're the kind of person that's like, you know what, I'm kind of miserable and I want to be sad all the time, stay home.
Right,
But if
yeah.
you want to have a good time, some
Yeah,
cold beer, good food for
Right.
free, and you want to come out and laugh.
Right.
And see, these other guys on the show, those are some of the funniest comedians from the East Coast I'm bringing.
In other words, there'd be other.
Oh, there's gonna
who's
be other
somebody- you know
comedians.
anybody else? What by name or?
Chris Schlatter, who...
What's he do? What kind of comedy?
He's the male version of me a little bit. He
Yeah.
does adult humor,
Uh-huh.
and he is a very successful comedian, performs in New York. And we have Jonathan Graham, who is a very funny, more or less urban comedian.
Yeah.
And he's just, these guys are so funny. They're some of my favorites.
You know-
And I want you to come out, and if you like comedy,
Right.
give it a shot.
Right.
And I personally say, come up to me afterwards
Right,
and
right.
say, Katie, you're wasting my time. Or, Katie, that was really funny.
Right.
Or say
else,
something.
one way, say
you
something.
know, but like let me
Right.
know so I can maybe bring in
Right,
different
right.
acts, so I can maybe write something a little funnier.
Right.
You know? So I really want people just to come out and just give it a chance.
Yeah.
Come
well,
on, have a good time.
You hit the Norristown Times Herald. You hit the front page at Norristown Times Herald. Here it is, telling all about your career?
I got to tell you, Hank, I don't think I have ever looked that good in my life.
Okay.
I think they must have photoshopped about 50 pounds off of me because they had me pose in a playground,
You think
going
maybe-
down the slides, and I'm like, they're going to catch like my triple chin. I'm going to have my stomach
well,
hanging
maybe-
out. But I looked amazing in that, and I
Well-
just have to say, because I think I'm a disaster,
Well, how
but that looks
How
good.
about if I get you a heavyweight fight? I'll get you lined up with a
Let's see,
fight up
maybe
in the Oaks.
Rosie O'Donnell? Do
Cisco's,
you think Rosie
Cisco's
O'Donnell will
arena.
take me?
Huh?
You think Rosie O'Donnell will take me?
I think I'll bet on you. I'll train
Really,
you for it.
I would, yeah.
You give her one to la banza, one to the nose, and one to the stonada over there.
You see,
know.
stand-up comedy is a lot like boxing because when I'm
Yeah.
on stage, I pace and I bob
Right,
and I
yeah. You
weave
go about
because
slip
it's
and
like you're
slide.
trying to hit them with a joke, and it's like
Right,
jab,
right,
jab,
right.
jab, and sometimes they fall back and laughing, and sometimes
Yeah,
they're like,
you don't know how
"This
people are
girl
going
ain't
to take
good,"
it. You know?
but hopefully, you keep working at it. You got to
Yeah.
keep going at it.
You know, when you're out there and you're telling a joke, you don't know how the people are taking it, you know. And then who knows? Maybe they might be stone deaf, you know. The guy was in a jury up in Boston. He was in a jury for 7 days. They find out he was stone deaf. 7 days. I wonder what happened, what kind of verdict he come up with, you know. So actually, you don't know. Some guy just stand there and just look and say, I don't know. But he's absorbing it. Maybe he'll, what do they say? You have to get a Social Security joke or get it when he's 65 or something, you know. But you're right. You know, you never know. Maybe that as he goes home, he or she goes home and say, boy, you know, I told that joke, you know, and it'll blend in, you know. And it's good that you can get material. You write material. People don't have time to write material and write jokes, but they go there and they hear a good line, you know, one-liner, you know, good. You go home and you're happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have good food there. What kind of food they got?
Bar food, which
Huh?
of course I enjoy, like wings, sandwiches,
Oh,
anything in a deep fryer is all right with me. What else?
Well, how about, why don't you hook up with like the Lions Club and the Kiwanis Club, or they have like luncheon. They usually have a speaker for 15, 20 minutes, you know. Give them a couple one-liners, you know.
You see,
Because-
Hank, I'm afraid I'll short-circuit their pacemaker.
Huh?
Because
You're allowed to-
Because my act, first of all, I'll tell you a little bit about my act. It's a very honest look about who I am. I
Right.
mean, I think comedy has to be true. It has to be something that you're like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And the first thing they teach you in stand-up comedy is when you get up on stage, the first thing you have to say is what everybody else is thinking about you.
You continue what you said about first, when you get on the stage,
When
the
you
first
get on,
thing.
the first thing you have to say, or one of the first things you have to say, is what the audience is thinking about you.
Yeah.
So, I'm festively plump,
Right.
okay?
Pleasantly plump, right.
And
Italian style.
I'm a big girl. I know I'm a big girl. So
Right.
the first thing I say is, my name's Katie Kohler, and my wardrobe's by Lane Bryant.
Right.
And I hate when people give me diet advice, like, Katie, there's a skinny girl inside of you. I'm like,
Yeah.
I would think she's suffocated by now. You know, and I like to do, like, that's what I come out
Yeah.
with. Then I go on to I talk about my marriage.
Right.
I talk about how I don't like children.
Right.
I talk about, since I'm Italian,
Then
we
the
all-
kid comes up and whacks you.
I doubt that. Then I talk about, since I'm Italian, you know Italian women, we have like mustaches.
Right, right.
So I talk about how I have to go get that waxed, and that's a very
Yeah,
big part of it.
You talk about human stuff, you know. But
I-
it's just like this lady says, I lost 200 pounds in a week. What happened? I forced the bum, you know. So, I mean, you know, you got to have a one-liner to keep everybody happy.
I mean,
All
it's
right.
stuff that's very true, and it's
Right.
about my life.
All right, what now you got here, you went to NAR Town High School, you graduated, and did you continue your education, or you just
I
went
did.
on?
I went to LaSalle University, and I graduated there with a degree in public relations and mass media writing.
Public relations?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good. And
And in Norristown High School, I actually played sports, but now I don't because I'm too fat. And I played
You're pleasantly plump.
I played volleyball, basketball, and softball. And I ended up sticking with volleyball for
How about
more of it.
wrestling?
I did
Mud
not
wrestling?
wrestle. I did not wrestle, but I always had an urge. I always wanted to play football, but you know, I didn't think I'd make the team. But I always loved
well,
playing sports.
I'll put a challenge up for Rosie O'Donnell. I mean, I'll
Yeah,
go
go
in your
ahead.
corner.
Like celebrity boxing, like
yeah.
Danny Bonaducci.
Yeah, yeah. That one guy's an announcer from Philadelphia. No, an announcer, a football player. He was boxing with this announcer for Channel 10.
Yeah,
Knocked him
Vicek
out in
and
the first
Jose
round.
Canseco,
First
yeah.
round, yeah. You know, that don't just because you're big don't mean that you can fight. You know, that means you hit the ground harder.
I wouldn't do too much bobbing.
Yeah, you got to bob.
I don't think I can move that fast.
Well, you got to
Hank.
bob and weave. So you bob and weave to get in position to punch. You don't just bob and weave for nothing. See, you bob, they go over here, boom, you throw a left. See, that's why you bob and weave. That's what they call it.
Yeah, that's too much work for me. That's
Oh.
why I do stand-up comedy. It's not move-around comedy, it's stand-up and I still sweat doing that, which is
All
just
right,
sad.
about your family. Tell me something about your family now.
My
Your
family-
husband, how many times he beat you up?
My surprisingly none.
None.
He is so supportive. He just loves
Right, that's great.
being in my act.
Right.
And believe me,
Oh,
he
gets,
is.
I mean, he's in the audience
he-
sometimes?
He's in the audience, and in my act, I talk about him a lot.
Oh.
And how he's very lazy.
Who was it, that one comedian? She always talking about her husband.
Pretty much any female comedian talks about their husband.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't talk about him in a bad way. I
No.
talk about him in a way that I'm very attracted to him,
Right.
and he's a fat dork.
Right, right.
And I love dorky men. I
Right.
really do. That just, I don't want the guy to bring me roses. I want him to be like, I pirated this movie for you, Katie. That really is, what
Right.
I like. And he's been super supportive. And it's just so interesting. Like, we've only been married 3 years, so you learn stuff living with a
okay.
guy.
Where's he from?
He's from King of Prussia.
Oh, yeah? And what did he do for a living?
He works on a political campaign.
Political?
Yes.
We want to get into that?
We're not going to get into that.
Get into that, okay. I
But
don't
if
want to get
he's
into
listening,
We'll get on Gordon
mow the
Glant's
lawn.
show. We'll get on the Gordon Glant's
Okay.
show. We'll
If
talk
he's
about
listening,
that.
tell him to mow the lawn.
So, all right, now, and you have any children?
I don't, Hank. To be honest with you, I know how a lot of women are supposed to like kids, but to me, no.
You don't want no kids? Well,
Kids-
how about if your mother would have thought like that? Then what? You
I'm
wouldn't
sure
be
she
around.
did. But the thing is, Hank, to me, kids are like little drunks. They stumble around everywhere, they never shut
Yeah,
up, and they always stick you with the bill.
Well, that's good. Everyone
You
gives you
never
something to
go
do.
out with a kid
It
and
gives
him
you
saying,
something to
I
do.
got this.
It gives you something to do.
And I just think the children, they're very expensive.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other things that I would rather spend my money on.
Yeah, but you're going to have one along the way. Little,
And I'm sure I will have a kid along the way, because I'm sure people are looking at me like, oh, she doesn't like children, why? They're just not for me. It's like, you might not like sushi. Am I like, you got to eat it?
Yeah, right.
But kids, it's pretty much, I'm sure I'll have to like mine.
Why, you will. And they'll be good. They won't be comedians. What will they be? If you do, what do you want, a boy or a girl?
I want a boy, because I don't want a girl at all.
You don't want a girl?
If I had a girl, I'd probably just give
yeah,
it to
but
my
if you
mother
get a girl,
to
then
keep.
you get a boy.
No, I think
he
I want.
Then when she gets married, you'll have you'll have a son.
No, Hank, I'm going to tell you why I want all boys. And I want all big, strapping, 6'5" boys, so we
yeah?
can move back to NAR Town. They can play linebacker for NAR Town football.
How about that?
How about
They're
that?
doing good so far
They
this
are.
year.
Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. And the coach, what's his name? Smith. Good guy. Okay. All right, now, this show here, how long's that been there, this restaurant?
It's been Francesca's. They are under new ownership for about 8 months.
8 months?
And they've really tried to clean it up and make it a different type of reputation. And they are all about contributing to the Norristown area.
Stan Husky and I, the editor of Times, Sure, a week around in restaurants, so we'll have to get down and take a look at it, have lunch or so. They have lunch there?
They do.
Good. All right. Now, how did you come about hitting the front page of the Times Herald?
Look at this mug, Hank.
Look
at this mug.
Yeah, I know, but you look like a beauty queen here. Huh? And you're a beauty queen. Okay.
Maybe in an eating contest, but not a.
How'd you make this contact?
How did
Somebody
I
in
make
the
this
audience?
contact? What happened was there really is no other free comedy show in the area. There is one at the Valley Forge Beef and Ale on the weekend, and I think it's like a $10 admission.
That's up on Trooper Road?
It is. But what happens is this is a free local show
Oh,
that I
okay.
was doing at Screwballs, and I also won a comedy competition in Collegeville. So
All right. Well, look, I'm going to have an annual show. It's a musical, maybe on St. Patrick's Day. Come in, tell a couple of jokes about St. Patrick's Day. No jokes about St. Patrick. But I want to give you a little token of appreciation. It says here, thanks for being on the Hank Cisco TV show, Channel 28, Comcast, and very soon Verizon's going to pick us up. So we're going to get wider coverage. So I want to give that to you. I want to shake your hand.
Hey, come
and
in
then
for the real thing.
wait.
Come in for the real thing.
Wait, we
That's
got to
right.
get a toast. Allah Salud. Allah Salud means to your health, everybody.
is this Norristown approved water?
All right, yeah, it's water.
All right.
Not spiked. And hello to the new crew here at Norristown High School. Allah Salud. So, you keep bobbing and weaving. Want to spar a little bit? Come on.